How's it going, everyone? I'm going to tell you about my crazy life before I started Fast Track. It involves 2 goats, okay? We'll just leave it there. So I wasn't the best at making decisions before Fast Track. One of the things I thought was a really good idea was to get 2 goats. Bad idea, right off the top. On the first day that I had them, they jumped over the fence that I had made for them and basically made a run to the street. I thought the best way to catch them would be to chase them, to run as fast as I can and get them. Little did I know that the faster you chase a goat, the faster they run. It took me about 400 feet before I realized this. I stopped, looked at them running down the road, and I said, this is a problem. Ran back to my house, barefoot, by the way, calling for my wife to get the keys so we can get the car. Nobody was answering, no one was helping. So I grabbed the boots that I saw that were in the grass. They were up here. I saw my old BMX bike when I was a teenager, grabbed that, and I had a leash that I said, this could be a lasso. And I started pushing with that bike down. We ended up on a 1.5 kilometer journey. I caught up to them. The second I caught up to them, they beelined into the next field and started going into the forest. And at this point, I just stood there. Honestly, I dropped the bike and I was like, God be with you. You badger. Good luck, good luck. But it was in that moment, time froze for a second. And I just felt God standing next to me and saying, hold on, guys, this is wild. Imagine how much more valuable you are to me, that you're willing to do all this for those goats. Put yourself through all this pain. You can't even breathe. Look what you're willing to do for these goats you don't even like. Imagine what I'm willing to do for you. And it was like, oh man, I was living in Matthew 18:12. What do you think? If a man has 100 sheep and one of them goes astray, does he not leave the 99 and go to the mountains to seek the one that is straying? I was living in that moment. But then that's when I decided, you know what, God, you're right. I'm going to go get them, and then I could sell them and get my money back. So it'll be worth it. But my point here is we can be like goats sometimes. Right now, everybody in this church, you have a heart for God. You have a heart for God. He's on your mind right now. Goats, they like to run, and they don't like to listen. They don't have a leader. They just want to do their own thing. That's not what a sheep is. Sheep are different. We are the Lord's sheep. We want to follow him. But here's the thing that will take us away, okay? Sheep will always follow the shepherd. They know the voice of the shepherd. There's one thing that will take them away: sin. Sin doesn't stop God from loving us. God will always love us. But here's what happens with sin. It's a slippery slope. You do one little sin, you do the next sin, you keep going and going and going. Next thing you know, you're in head deep in sexual immorality. You're in, back into drugs, back into alcohol. This is because of sin. And if we don't stop it when it's here, it's going to take over our life. But here's the bigger problem with that, aside from destroying our life. When we sin, our heart becomes cold and hardened. Yeah. So when our heart becomes cold and hardened, we eventually will get to a point where God becomes an obstacle in our life. And when God becomes an obstacle, that's when we start pushing him away. God's hand will always be trying to get you. Just like those goats. I would have probably chased them for 4 hours if I had to. It took about half an hour, this whole thing, but I would have chased them for like 4 hours. God will chase you to the end of the earth. But if you keep sinning and hardening your heart, it's not God you have to worry about. It's you. You're the only one that's holding you back from being with our God. Amen.